What's up, guys? My name is Jerry, and today's video is going to be on the Cleveland Cavaliers, and we're going to be talking about how their offense has become unstoppable, and we're going to jump right into the video. So far on the NBA season, the Cleveland Cavaliers have played 7 games, and they've been nothing short of spectacular. They have a record of 6-1, and so far on the season, they rank number 2 in defensive rating, and they rank number 6 in offensive rating. And what's so impressive about this, if we look back to last year's Cleveland Cavaliers, yes, they were outstanding on the defensive side of the ball, but offensively, they finished in the middle of the pack. When the season was over, the Cleveland Cavaliers ranked 20th in offensive rating. So we fast forward to this season, the Cleveland Cavaliers, they still have one of the best defenses in the NBA, but they've been able to significantly improve their offense, making that jump from number 20 in offensive rating to number 6. And what makes it even crazier, before the game against the Boston Celtics, their all-star point guard Darius Garland has played all of 4 minutes on the NBA season. He had went down with that gruesome eye injury, and in his return against the Boston Celtics, he put on a show. He put up 29 points and 12 assists. He played a great game, and with him playing like that and him missing majority of this season so far, it leads me to ask this question: how does the Cleveland Cavaliers missing a player like Darius Garland make such a significant jump in their offensive rating? And that answer is Donovan Mitchell. Now, before we get into how special Donovan Mitchell has been for the Cleveland Cavaliers, I just want to say, in my humble opinion, I feel like the move that they pulled off in order to get him was the best move in the offseason. I know they gave up some players and they gave up some first round draft picks, but I feel like when you're getting a guy like Donovan Mitchell and you're pairing him or combining him with that core that you already have, and the core I'm talking about is Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, Donovan Mitchell, and Darius Garland. Donovan Mitchell is the oldest out of those 4 guys, and he's only 26 years old. So I feel like when you're forming that type of nucleus, it's definitely worth it. And Donovan Mitchell, he brings something to the Cavaliers that they desperately needed last season. When we look at the roster, after Ricky Rubio went down with the ACL tear and they ended up trading him away, Darius Garland was the only guy that could consistently be a threat out on that perimeter. They tried to bring Caris LeVert in, but he couldn't bring in that type of production that they were looking for. So the Cleveland Cavaliers, they went out on the hunt and they found themselves a great trade for Donovan Mitchell. So I just wanted to say that I feel like that was a great job by the front office of the Cleveland Cavaliers. So Donovan Mitchell, he gets to the Cavs 7 games into the season, and he's playing out of his mind. Now, so far on the season, Donovan Mitchell is putting up some crazy numbers. He's averaging 31 points per game, 7 assists, and around 5 rebounds. And he's also doing this at a very efficient rate. He's shooting 48% from the field and around 42% from the three-point line. And when you take the amount of shots that Donovan Mitchell takes, those numbers right there are pretty efficient. And so far this season, Donovan Mitchell has been everything the Cleveland Cavaliers could want from him. They wanted another player alongside Darius Garland that could provide that explosive perimeter play. And what makes it so impressive about what Donovan Mitchell and the Cleveland Cavaliers offense have been doing is that we established this early in the video, but majority of it has been without Darius Garland, as he was out dealing with that eye injury. And the reason I say that is when you have a guy like Darius Garland out on the court, he's going to make everybody else's job so much easier because he's a great scorer, and then he's also a great playmaker. So he attracts so much attention, and he's going to get guys a bunch of wide open looks. So I think with missing him and Donovan Mitchell in this offense doing what they have been doing so far this season is very impressive. And Donovan Mitchell, he's so dynamic. He adds so many more aspects to this offense. He can do everything offensively. He's dangerous in the half court. He's dangerous in transition. He gives you great pick and roll offense, and he can also score in isolation. You look at Donovan Mitchell at his size, he's like 6'3", 6'4". He offers something that we don't really see from players his size, and that's the ability to cause some crazy mismatches. And I'm talking about the type of mismatches that guys like Luka Doncic, LeBron James, Zion Williamson, he offered those type of mismatch problems to the table, in my opinion. And what I mean by that, just like those guys is no right defender you can pit on those guys, I feel the same way about Donovan Mitchell. And I noticed this in the 2020-2021 NBA playoffs when they were facing the Los Angeles Clippers. We take Donovan Mitchell, you try to pit a smaller player on him or a smaller quick guard to stay in front of him. He is just too strong. I've seen it so many times where there's a smaller player guarding him, he gets to that lane and there's just bouncing right off of him. And then if you try to pit a bigger wing, a stronger wing on him to prevent that, he is so athletic. His quick first step is lightning fast, and it's just hard for those bigger guys to stay in front of him. Now, that's what I saw from the playoffs against the Clippers, and the Clippers had some great defenders. I saw him cook Paul George. I saw him cook Kawhi Leonard. They tried to throw Pat Bev on him. Pat Bev was too little. So I love that about Donovan Mitchell, is that he offered those type of mismatches to the table, and his skill set allows him to do that. He's a very skilled offensive player. No weakness in his offensive game. Elite 3-level scorer. He can shoot the 3 ball from 30 plus feet. He can get to the mid-range. His midi pull-up is elite. And then he's also an elite finisher. He does a great job of absorbing that contact and still finishing strong at the rim. And he's also super athletic, so he can get up and punch it on you. So Donovan Mitchell, he's an elite offensive player. He had the Utah Jazz at the top of offensive efficiency every year. So this is just what he does. And last year, we're going to continue to talk about the Cavs. Not last year, but last night against the Celtics. We're going to continue to talk about their offense. Last night, we seen Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell. We've seen them for the first time play some serious minutes against each other. Darius Garland was there for the first game of the season, but it was only for 4 minutes. And I'm kind of glad we got to see them tonight against the Boston Celtics, because that is a great defensive team. They have a lot of perimeter defenders, and I think Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, I think they did a great job playing with each other last night. And what I seen from these guys, they wasn't just throwing the ball back and forth to each other, trying to take turns isolating or running the pick and roll. But I think they did a great job of running the Cleveland Cavaliers offensive system. Donovan Mitchell was running off screens without the basketball in his hands, and vice versa with Darius Garland. And both of those guys played great games. They combined for 50 plus points and 18 assists. So this backcourt, their first serious game together, and they looked great. And there's some other components of this Cleveland Cavaliers offense that also makes them unstoppable, and that is their front court. Now, it's just not Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell that makes the Cleveland Cavaliers offense so special and unstoppable, but we also have to give some credit to that front court of Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. These guys have a high impact on the offensive side of the ball. I feel like we all know what they offer defensively, but what they do on the offensive side of the ball doesn't get talked about enough, and I think they offer a lot of different aspects for the Cleveland Cavaliers offensively. Number one is that they do a great job of taking advantages of mismatches down in the low post. When you have perimeter threats like Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland and you running those pick and rolls, there's going to be some switches. So the Cleveland Cavaliers are confident enough in those two guys that they can throw them the ball down there. They can make a quick move and get an easy basket before the double team comes in the post. And we got to give credit to Jared Allen. He's gotten so much better in that area since he's gone into the NBA. He came in known as a rim protector, and he's developed into a very solid low post scorer. He's added a bunch of moves to his bag, and Evan Mobley, he came into the league being able to do that. He can do so many different things offensively, and another aspect these two guys offer is just being aggressive in pick and roll situations as the roll man. Both of these guys have some great hard screens. Both of them finish very well around the rim, and they both are lob threats. And Evan Mobley, he can take that pick and roll game to a whole new level because of how skilled he is offensively. He can catch that ball on the short roll, and he can do so many different things with it. He can serve as a playmaker. He can put the ball on the floor and get to the rim, or he can rise up for a jump shot. So I love the Cleveland Cavaliers offense. Their starting five is a real offensive juggernaut, and then also they got some guys on the bench that can come in and put up some quality some quality points. I know Karis LeVert is starting right now, but we just seen him go for 41 points the other night, and he's one of their role players. And then Kevin Love coming off the bench, he's still shooting the 3 ball at a very high clip. He can heat up at any given moment. Dean Wade is playing some great basketball right now, knocking down 55% of his threes. And then also we haven't seen Ricky Rubio yet, who just comes in and get guys to their spot. So with the way things are looking right now, the Cleveland Cavaliers have a very explosive offense. Is looking unstoppable. That's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment down below if you agree or disagree, and then subscribe for more weekly content. We do this all the time, man, and that's curtains.